The sun hung low over the small-town diner, casting golden streaks across the cracked pavement. Outside, a figure sat hunched on the curb, her frame frail, her hands trembling as she clutched a faded handbag. Marjorie, an elderly woman in her 80s, had always carried herself with quiet dignity, but today, tears streaked her cheeks, unheeded by the bustling street around her. Across the lot, a group of teenagers huddled behind their phones, snickering. They filmed her, whispering cruel jokes and sharing the video with friends. Marjorie didn't notice. Her ears had grown silent over the years, leaving her world filled with muted whispers and distant echoes. But her heart felt every pang of loneliness. She remembered the diner in her youth, the laughter, the jukebox music, the aroma of fresh pies. She had brought her late husband here decades ago, celebrating small victories, large joys, and ordinary mornings that now seemed like precious relics of a lifelong past. A car door slammed nearby, pulling her out of the memories. Marjorie's thin hands clenched tighter around her bag. A shiver ran through her, not from cold, but from the unfamiliar sting of shame broadcast to the world. She had survived wars, raised children, and lost love, yet this small, cruel act pierced deeper than she expected. As her tears fell, a low rumble echoed down the street. Engines growled, and the sound of leather jackets brushing together preceded the arrival of a small group of bikers. Their leader, a towering man with a graying beard and kind eyes, parked carefully in front of the diner. He approached Marjorie slowly, his boots heavy on the asphalt, but his voice gentle. "You okay, ma'am?" he asked. Marjorie looked up, startled, her eyes wide. She tried to speak, but her voice wavered, weak from age and grief. The bikers exchanged glances, sensing the fragility before them, yet ready to stand firm. One of the teens laughed loudly, trying to provoke a reaction. But the bikers simply moved closer, their presence commanding without cruelty. "Why are you filming her?" the leader demanded, his tone calm but firm. "Do you get any satisfaction from someone else's pain?" The bullies faltered, the bravado fading as the weight of the question settled. Marjorie's memory drifted. She saw herself as a young woman, helping a lost child, comforting a neighbor, offering kindness in the quietest corners of life. How had she survived so much cruelty, yet still believed in the goodness of people? The bikers knelt beside her, one placing a protective hand on her shoulder. "You're safe now," he said. "No one's laughing here. Not today." Marjorie's lips trembled. She wanted to speak, to thank them, but words were caught in her chest. Instead, she let the warmth of human presence wash over her, a comfort she had not felt in years. If you believe in courage, resilience, and hope, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. As the sun dipped further, Marjorie recalled the nights she had spent alone after her husband passed, the long silences, and the small acts of kindness that had made her world bearable. She thought of her children, grown and scattered, and wondered if they remembered the woman who had always smiled through adversity. The bikers gently encouraged her to stand. Each step was measured, deliberate, but she found strength in their presence. One biker offered an arm, and she took it, leaning on their support as if carrying not just her weight, but the accumulated courage of years. Sometimes, the leader said quietly, the world is cruel, but it's also full of people willing to stand for what's right. The bullies had slunk away, their phones abandoned, the power of their mockery deflated by compassion and action. Marjorie's heart felt lighter, the sting of humiliation softened by the unexpected kindness of strangers. Flashbacks flickered through her mind, a neighbor returning a lost kitten, a young man offering her a seat on a crowded bus, her own hands feeding the hungry during winters long past. Each memory a thread weaving a tapestry of human connection, proving that goodness often outweighed cruelty. As they guided her back toward the diner, Marjorie felt a spark of hope she hadn't experienced in years. The bell above the door chimed softly, welcoming her into warmth, light, and the smell of fresh coffee. The bikers lingered at the entrance, sharing quiet smiles before mounting their bikes and riding off, leaving behind a sense of security and restored dignity. Marjorie glanced back, tears of relief shining in her eyes. Sometimes, courage comes from the most unexpected places, she whispered to herself. Have you ever witnessed an act of courage that changed someone's life in an instant? How did it make you feel? Share your thoughts in the comments below and continue spreading kindness wherever you go. The diner's staff approached, offering a warm meal and gentle words. A young waitress knelt to speak to Marjorie at eye level, noticing the trembling hands and the faraway look in her eyes. You're safe here, she said softly, and Marjorie nodded, finally able to smile. The camera pans wide, capturing the golden sunset reflecting off the diner windows, Marjorie's frail figure framed by the warm interior light. The bullies are nowhere in sight, replaced by a world brimming with compassion, courage, and second chances. As Marjorie sipped her coffee, memories of her past life intertwined with newfound hope. The world had reminded her that no matter the cruelty she endured, kindness had a way of arriving when least expected, restoring faith in humanity. The bikers' rumble faded in the distance, but their message lingered. Bravery and compassion often arrive quietly, in the right place at the right time. Marjorie thought of her younger self, and the countless small choices she had made to act kindly, even when unnoticed. Perhaps this was the reward, not recognition, but the reminder that one act of courage could change the course of a day, even a life. As she watched the diner bustle with warmth and light, Marjorie knew the world was not perfect, but in moments like this, hope could shine brighter than cruelty. Remember, every act of kindness has the power to transform lives. If this story moved you, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley, because every share spreads courage, compassion, and hope to someone who might need it most. Marjorie's hands rested on the table, holding the coffee cup like a lifeline, but her heart soared. She had been reminded that even in a world that sometimes hurts, there are always heroes, sometimes unexpected, sometimes ordinary, who remind us that humanity is capable of immense good. And as the screen fades to the golden sunset outside the diner, we're left with one truth: courage and kindness, when combined, are unstoppable.